Hey, welcome to episode 10, I think, of Saturday at John's. My plan for today is to finish the inking on this and get its final coat to clear. I'm gonna have to go over a little over my allotted allowance because I only have enough clear for one more coat. And I'll probably I'll just probably mix up the whole quart and use half of it. So that'll be 3 more coats of clear. 60%, 10% retarder, because it's snowing, or snows on the ground.
About 18 degrees.
Yep, about 18 degrees. It's a little nipply outside.
My fingers are still sort of cold
So-
from being out there.
I don't see anybody that we have any watchers yet. John has put some more dope on his airplane. Now that's tinted clear that he has on that. I think that's the final coat of tinted clear he's going to go with before color. He's going to add about a gallon of blue dope to it. Dope
I rather doubt that. But I made up my little gauges for my cockpit interior the other day. It took me a couple hours. They need to be buffed a little bit. But I don't know if these can be seen.
They can't be. Can you? Let me have them. Put them in my hand. Those are nice. What'd you make them out of? Brass tube?
Brass tubing.
How come I don't have none?
You haven't made any, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Let's. Yeah, they're pretty hard to see macro wise. Yeah, they're too heavy. Artificial horizon.
Half of that brass gets cut off of them, so I didn't have any aluminum all the sizes, or I made them out of aluminum and just painted them silver or whatever, but
Here.
But they're fine. I don't even think they'll weigh.
Yeah.
I know they weigh in the outcome, but we've discussed that many a times.
Here comes the mystery pounds. 2 grams.
No, not even a gram. It's not even staying on a gram.
You need a little finger scale to see how many grains it is.
Not enough to worry about.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about it. Let's put it that way. They're going to go in there with a smile. But I will cut them in half. They're too big. I just did them so they're easier to handle. And I'll just grind about half that off of there, and that'll about as light as you can make them outside of aluminum. Heck, the paper and stuff probably weighs more than the brass. It's got a little plastic piece in there for a lens, a paper dial, and then it's got a piece of balsa wood in there that backs it up, 16th inch
Did you
balsa
put
wood.
plastic, a clear piece of plastic for a lens?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, they're just like a real gauge, except the arrows don't float or anything. The artificial horizon doesn't move.
Okay, what I did this week at the apartment was, I'll go over that. I did the cockpit combing like I had talked about. That's freehand. I did the circle around this decal. I put a panel line around the nose here. It's going to get a couple more up in here before I go out in the garage to clear it. And I freehanded the lines. Now you would say, oh BS. Well, I freehanded those lines in the wheel pants because I could not get the stencil or the straight edge to go around there without wicking. So I sat on the couch and I freehanded those, and they're fairly straight, wouldn't you say, John?
Yeah, they're pretty. They come out pretty nice.
I outlined the inspection cover. I mean, this stuff, I sat on the couch and meticulously put it on, take it off, put it on, make a mistake, take it off, until I was happy with it. And these turned out pretty much perfect. So I don't have enough clear on this to really get into sanding, because there are some spots that I want to sand out, but I got to have more clear. So before I put more clear on it, we're going to take the pen that I use for panel lines and not outlining. That's a 2-60 Koh-i-Noor Rapidograph with India ink for film in them. And I'm sure I've said this before, but repetition is good because you guys forget. So can you guys hear us okay? I see we got 3 watchers already. I'm disappointed. 3 watchers and only 1 thumbs up. That should be 40 thumbs up and 3 watchers. We've been doing real good with the episodes on Saturdays at John's, so I think we'll probably make it a regular thing.
I'm just roughing in a tape line. It doesn't have to be straight or anything. The tape will make it straight. I just need to know where to.
You're going to paint inside?
Yeah. This nibbler's sort of got high side walls on the cowling. But that's where it glues, up underneath that, where I'll paint that. I'll probably paint that white, since a majority of, well, maybe not. Depends on how I paint the inside, what gets black.
Are you gonna leave the inside of this cockpit white? Or are you gonna make it the same color of the airplane?
I was thinking about leaving all this white and then just painting this floor in here black. It sort of shadows down into it.
What I'm gonna do on mine.
Put Mr. Gieske in there. We sort of find, see what it's sort of going to look like. That dash could have been cut away. Normally I have an overhang,
Right.
on it. This doesn't have it. Just rounded it off, and I could have cut it back a little bit further, but I wasn't thinking. Too late. I'm not going to do it now. It's already been hollowed and all that stuff. So.
Well, same with mine. I followed the plan, and the plan was not right.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the original one even had a dash in it. I think it just had a pilot figure in it, and they just left that out. But it's too tight, like a real cockpit that
Yeah,
Your dash isn't right up on the front of you.
yeah, it's back a long way.
Yeah, a long ways past your knees when you're sitting down,
Yeah, that'd be right up to your chest.
Yeah.
That's so you can get a good look at what you're doing.
You must wear bottle glasses or something, bottle pop glasses.
Okay, I want you to eyeball this overhead to make sure that this is, I don't know how we could measure this so it's parallel with the trailing edge. I want to do this one line right here in this area.
You got your ink pens all done up?
Oh yeah. Is that square on there?
I find it hard to, I can't see straight down on it. Let's take this thing and put it in this. No, just turn around like here. Yeah. Open them up. They go open a little more.
Ah, that helps. I never thought of that.
You can put a block underneath the tail of it and sort of block it up a
That'd
little
be
bit.
fine.
Stabilize it.
You'll be fine. Okay.
If you want to, here, let's take
Now I can't see that spot that I wanted it. Oh, it's right there.
let's see here.
I just do it by eye.
We can measure it and put a little piece of tape. You're only going from the black line to the black line, right?
Correct. It's one of them Chinese rules.
Yeah, that's one of them doofus things. Where's your mark at?
We want it right here.
Okay, about
5.
5 inches. I'm gonna put right on that little point.
And that'll hide that faux pas if the tape doesn't rip up the paint. Should.
Well, I didn't stick it down. I just.
That ain't right.
Right on 5 inches there.
Move it that way to 5 inches. You're at 6 there. 5 is right there. There we go. Let's see if that looks right. Okay, I guess that'll work. Okay, hold it down right there. If I don't like it, I just wipe it off. That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
See, if you didn't get that one on straight, that one looked crooked.
I just eyeballed this one.
Yeah, you got it on there pretty straight. You're eyeballing it.
Believe it or not, your eyes are pretty close if you're paying attention.
Yeah, you got practice. Now you do a lot of measuring and cutting and stuff. When you're using tape measures every day at work and stuff like that, you get a sixth sense of what a 16th is and a half inch and your basic what 5 or 6 inches
Let me
is.
see your long. Is this it?
That's the footer. Here's a big one. You don't want a big one for that.
Okay. We're gonna come. Put your thumb right there. We're gonna come to that line right there, right where your thumb is. Tink.
Better not be hearing any tinking.
Yeah, because we're not repainting. Let's see. That's
Oh,
right there. Oh, I wanted it even, you know. Okay, that's one. Let's go to the other side and I'll do that.
let's see. Come, what is it? About a 1/4 inch off that ink line.
Yep. Okay. Like to see two guys doing it over and over again until it's perfect. Yeah, great.
Yeah, well, it ain't perfect because for one thing, you got everything's not symmetrical. You've got wing panels that are different lengths and stuff like that. You got to sort of ad lib a little bit on them to.
Yep.
That's where that looks about right. It's pretty good unless you want to sit around and do a whole lot of math.
Tink.
Did you glue this thing together yet?
Nope. That looks about right, doesn't it? I mean, want some panel lines on it. I don't want a lot of panel lines on it.
Right.
Do some back there and a couple of stripes on the fuselage and be done.
A little trim tab or something maybe.
You got a little trim tab template?
And probably not. Not hard to make one.
Yeah. Let's see here. Put your thumb, okay? Yeah, it'll have just enough ink on it. Should I do a line straight down the center, or will that would have to be absolutely perfect?
Yeah, it's got to be in the center for sure. It's got to be straight.
Yeah.
It's but I mean, to me, when you're inking an airplane, you want to sort of look at an airplane, a real one,
Right.
and say where were their pan lines at, and
I'm
sort
sure
of
there's one right there.
simulate that. It probably had two.
Right.
See, I used to do. I've done on a few of my airplanes, two lines here and little hash marks in them, make it look like a big long piano hinge. And then down here I put a little latch. I mean, it's how far do you want to take it?
And we're not going to go that far.
You know, typically this would have another line down here. It'd have a line right here.
Yeah, and a line here and a
Yeah,
line there.
and
I
then
mean,
you can keep going at it. The fillets would be full of little overlapped little pieces.
yeah.
I mean, how far do you want to take it? I'll tell you what, right now, when you start inking on them, it can just go, you can go hog wild on them. Well,
I know.
that looks pretty good, but it's missing something there. Well, let's add a line there. Well, it's still missing. We've got to even that out. We've got to put one here. And before you know it, your whole airplane's loaded up with 10,000 panel lines and it starts looking gaudy.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. This is a classic airplane. I'm going to do some on the elevator, or the stabilizer elevators. Let me see your green template. We get the trim tab thingy out of there. I know you got a box. You got one with rounded corners. We got no chatter. 3 thumbs up, 5 watchers. Oh, we got toilet seats.
No, those aren't toilet seats.
Ellipses.
I don't have any toilet seats. There's that, but I've got the bag of them other ones that are sort of homemade.
And these have square corners. And yeah, there we go.
That one's got rounded ones.
You got any smaller ones of these like this?
No, this is what you see is what I got.
Oh, I see what you did.
The lenses will fall out of them because I didn't bend this edge over. And they're not glued in there. Well, the back's glued in, but the front isn't. I know there's nothing in that.
Oh, rivet line. Just do rivets.
It's still got, I was looking at this little square slot in here. It's got square corners.
Right.
And that one's got square corners in it. That's the only ones I got.
It'll be fine. So, how big do you think the trim tab should be? That big?
They're long. They're normally a little longer than they are.
That
Yeah,
big?
probably be fine.
Okay.
It's about right.
Yeah.
It's probably a third bigger than what it should be, but it's what we got.
Okay.
Does that got tape on the back side of it?
Yep. Ready to go. I'm just gonna come here and hold this. Okay, hold it. That's good. I'm freehanding these. I don't recommend you guys do that. If you watch my video on I got it, on gold leaf made easy, I freehanded those lines around my gold leaf letters. But you got to remember, I was a sign painter at one particular time. It's a little thick there. I'll have to nip it.
Scrape it off.
Yeah.
Scrape, scrape, scrape.
Okay, we're gonna do the other side. And the distance.
You centered it on that hinge, and then you used that tape for your distance, didn't you?
No. The hinges are different because the wing lengths are different.
Yeah, but this span's the same, isn't it?
I don't know. Let's check it. Close enough. Yeah, put it up there.
Why does that look huge on that side?
You can't do it that way.
You can't do it like that because
Yeah.
your tape's wrong.
Yeah, but
Why can't? Well, yeah, the
tape.
don't have the tape on it.
So take the tape off of it.
Hold on a second.
Just take the tape off. Okay. TLAR. Okay, hold it. That look about right?
Mm-hmm. Might have to take it off if it's not.
Yeah, that wiggled.
That's all right. You scrape it off. Don't worry about the little. Don't sweat the small stuff, as they say. Worry about the little things.
Let's see if we got any chatters. 6 watchers. No chatters. Morning, guys. I hope you can hear us. Somebody give me an inclination that you can hear us. Can you hear us? I can't tell whether they can hear us or not.
Well, if they can't, they'll say something. You guys have no sound if somebody comes on there. Are you guys talking?
Yeah. Okay, they can hear us. All right, so let's turn this around. We'll do the elevators and then we'll flip it over and do the grab onto it. Okay, it looks like I got some fingerprints on there. Little Windex.
Paper towels behind you there on that.
Because I can't wipe this down anymore because of the wet ink.
Mm-hmm. Well, watch out. Don't pick up a paper towel and just expect it to be clean, because I was working on some oily shit down here, pardon my French, the other day, and the towel might have more oil in it than you're trying to take off.
This is the one that I sanded with 1500. I mean, it's gonna be slick after I bone it out with 5000. Just
It needs about 2 coats over all the ink, 2 more coats over all the ink lines, and another 2 more coats over everything.
okay. So now you get to just have, it's artistic license. You get to do whatever you want. So what I'm going to do, let's position the camera better. See what I'm doing. 8 watchers. I did that line over the top freehand. I mean, I don't recommend it.
How comfortable you feel with it.
Ooh, I didn't like that. I got that all cattywampus. You don't have a little plastic square, do you? Triangle type square. This thing here is crook-sided.
Crook-sided, eh?
Oh, big time.
I got a little metal square. I got some drafting squares, but they don't have a lip on them, you know. There's a drafting square.
It's got a lip on it.
Oh, that way you meant. I meant like to catch like a carpenter square where you can butt it up against a surface and...
I just want to get this square to the trailing edge.
And what I want to do is I want to bolt this thing together with the motor in it and everything and get a weight.
Yeah, let's see what it weighs.
You're evil.
70 ounces.
At this stage, nothing comes off.
You get a weight on it, I'll tell you what it'll weigh when it's done.
Give or take a couple mystery ounces.
Okay, you saw me use, and it just looks out of square, but it is square. You saw me use this template here. This is a drafting triangle. It has a slight setback or recess in it. I don't know if you can hear that or not.
On the edge, there's, yeah.
On the edge. If you don't have that, you have to have the tape. Otherwise, this pen would wick all that ink underneath it. And trust me, that would be a disaster. So what I'm doing here is I'm taping the square down so it doesn't move, because
Because it doesn't have any tape underneath of it.
Right.
No stiction. No stiction.
Now, I'm just eyeballing the distances. You can measure, you could spend a lifetime measuring all this stuff.
Well, if you didn't measure all your paint lines, measuring all your ink lines ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Now, like John said, I work with a ruler every day, and I've been doing this 50 years. I would say that from here to there is an inch. Let's see what it is. And I just eyeballed it. It's an inch and a 1/16. So if I'm off a 1/16 and you can tell, you're standing too close to my airplane.
How true.
So we'll just eyeball an inch, approximate. And I'm leaving a 1/4 inch leading and trailing edge on this. And again, it's not measured, it's just a guess. You saw that when I didn't like the line, I took the Windex and wiped it off. Don't get excited.
You have to have clear on the airplane before you put an ink line on it. You can't
Yeah,
stress that enough.
Otherwise, it will be a mess. You gonna put the whole thing together?
I'm gonna put the whole shebangy wangy
You're
together.
gonna leave the motor in it? Why would you leave the motor in it? Don't forget the glow plug. That weighs 1/2 ounce.
Yeah, I got a glow plug around here somewhere. What did I do with my prop?
You gotta have tip weight in it. This has a 1/2 ounce of tip weight in it. I would venture to say it's probably gonna need more.
Yeah.
1/4 ounce more. Where the mystery pounds come in.
Yeah. And believe it or not, you put wax on it, the wax has a weight to it also.
Let's see, we got any, looks great. What are you doing, Ed? What are you doing? Yes, Ed, we are, I'm inking today. And John is putting his airplane together over there. We're gonna get a weight on his airplane. If it's at 40 ounces right now, he's in trouble. Should be around 38 at this stage. Be nice if it was at 35, but don't hold your breath.
Yeah, or 30.
Yeah, 30'd be great. Okay, I want to go around this fuselage too. That's going to be very difficult. So let's do this line here. That looks about right.
TLAR.
Yep. got a little nib there I'm going to have to pick off. Now, these ink lines don't weigh anything, but they sure add a lot of character. Yeah, you already got the exact marks I need on this stick.
My cheater marks.
Yeah, I mean exact. The character will really come out in the polishing.
What the heck did I do? Lost my little set screw. Huh?
And no, I won't be adding 6 ounces of ballast to my airplane. Might have had a screw up there. Better look. Yep, sure enough. Stupid thing popped up.
Yep, it happens. I'll be dipped.
Don't panic. I will say this, if you do get an ink mistake and you done wiped it off, make sure you get all the black off. Because once you clear it, it ain't never coming off.
Yep, that's a fact, Jack.
I don't know why this thing bounced like that.
Nature of the beast.
Suppose I could tape that down. Where's the tape? Okay. Ah, went too far. That was one of those blind spots.
Yep, they're a headache.
I went by 1/8 of an inch too far. So we'll get out the towel here. Here's another thing I don't recommend doing, but it seems that it's so far. I got it. What happens is it'll pull a tail, and that tail, you'll chase that tail for an hour normally, like that. Damn.
Yeah. Or is it messing with you?
Got it. Close enough. Okay, on to the other side. Now this is an inside, but I really need to do it on the outside so I can be parallel with the trailing edge of the stab. There we go. Where's that roll of tape?
Right here.
We'll go ahead and tape this down so it doesn't move. See, to me, what John's doing there is he's putting his airplane together. I think that's a great thing to do. I leave it, you know, I was asked on the chat, why do I leave my motor in? So I'm always weighing the airplane. Because these stupid things will pick up weight when you least expect it. You go, no way.
How true.
It'll get out of control. I just don't have. Can I borrow you for a second?
Yeah, but only for a second.
Yeah, it'll only take
Just
a second.
second.
Reach over there and push down on that. Yep, push it down.
If you have a pebbly or a rough surface on this airplane right now, it'll show up every little bounce and wiggle.
Good enough.
Yes, sir.
That's
Yes, sir,
that's
yes.
probably enough on the stab, don't you think?
Well, that's totally up to you, bud.
Well, the airplanes of this era didn't have a lot of ink on them, is what I remember.
No, they didn't. They weren't. Couple colors, and that's about it. The heck's going on here?
I was told by Jim Lynch, who is a fantastic builder, a Nats appearance judge. I think Charlie Reeves was standing there too. Both those guys are excellent finishers. They told me that an airplane that's clean with one or two colors, no ink lines, would receive more points than an airplane that was clean with 1,000 ink lines on it that weren't done perfectly. So,
Well, some guys don't. If you don't make them scale looking, and you make them like you say with a toilet bowl seat or something like that on them, yeah, they'll zock you. You know, even though these airplanes, you know, most airplanes are sort of futuristic looking.
yeah, they're not.
They're not a real airplane, but they want you to put the panel lines on as though it was a real airplane, you know, and there's certain ways and certain breaks and your overlaps and seams don't line up and And certain things that they just do to them.
Now there's trim tabs on these elevators too, correct?
Yeah. There's a trim tab on the rudder. Should be in trim tab on the elevators. Where's my other little?
But not as big as the aileron. So we'll use this small one here.
There's one. Man, I always lose nuts and bolts and screws.
So I want to put it, make it parallel to the trailing edge. There we go. That looks pretty scale-like. Sorry about that. And we need one over here. Parallel to the trailing edge. Now this is a top flight panel template. They come with this thing that looks like a circle with a T and 6 dots around it. That's supposed to represent a fuel cap. Do not put that on your airplane. That is not even close.
I put it on my airplane.
Yeah, but it ain't right.
It's a T handle sort of thing.
Yeah, I know what it is, but it's first off, it's way too big. And
well, you gotta get the right scale.
let's see here. What else we want to do? Oh, we got to have one on the rudder, you said. Well, I got to do that laying down. They go up low or high, or in the middle?
Berries, look at those. The Bearcat's sort of in the middle. The Yak is sort of towards the bottom a little bit.
Let's see. We got 8 watchers, 5 thumbs up. Why do we not have 8 thumbs up? We really appreciate you watching us. Let's see. Part of my decal here for Tommy Looper disappeared. I'm wondering if I can
Go for it.
bring it in.
I'd put it on its side if you
Yeah.
if you could do it without smearing the ink you already got on.
Oh, yeah. Go for it. Yeah, easy for you to say. You're not the guy doing it. I think I'll probably do well, I might do the whole thing. I don't know. I wish I had brought a finer pen.
I got pins out there. Might need to be cleaned out on that size though, because that's the one I use a lot, and it might still be loaded up with stuff.
$70 ounces.
Every one of these little nuts and bolts weighs something. All got paint in them.
70 ounces.
Well, these are all the original things I've been putting on it from the get-go, so
What did it weigh before the paint? Do you know?
I can't remember. 37.4, I think.
All right, guys, what do you want us to talk about? I watched the EAA podcast, or listened to it this morning. I think the EAA is doing more than the AMA for us.
Well, it sure seems like it.
I'm almost to the point where AMA, what good are they?
Well, you gotta have them. You gotta have it. I heard Mike Lunke was talking about some other
Yeah, but did you see Brett Buck's?
outfit. Yeah. Well, it's been tried in the past to no avail. So, I don't know.
Those aren't the wheels you're going to use, are they?
No, but they're all I got right now, so
You got to turn them other wheels down.
yeah.
And them are heavy. But they're not heavy. They're heavier. Ooh, don't do that.
A dangerous time right now.
And when I'm toting my airplane back and forth, I hope I can get this back without poking a hole in it before I make it to the flying field.
Yeah. Well, at least get a couple of lights on it before you poke a first hole in it.
Yeah, I don't want to poke a hole in it right away. Got the tank in it?
Yeah.
Fuel line?
I don't have fuel line in it.
Well, better put that in. That's a half ounce. Cut a piece and throw it in there like I do.
I've got a piece cut somewhere around here. I don't know where it's at right this second. Why is that not going in there?
Paint.
Yeah, gonna have to scrape out all the holes. What the heck is the deal here? There it is. Helps you use the right size Allen wrench.
No.
Things tend to go together a little bit better. Alright. All this stuff back up in here I don't need.
Got all your hinges?
They're in that box. I just put them in that box.
You're not gonna weigh the hinges?
Sort of guess them, I guess. Could weigh them.
Hinges, gauges, pilot, fuel line. I mean, whatever. Kind of guess.
I can weigh that stuff separate. I don't really want to have to stick them things on there. I don't want to take them off them stands, because the more you take them off them stands, the more you wear out the.
How you gonna know what it weighs if you don't have it all in parts?
I know.
$70 ounces.
Yeah. I don't think so, Tim. Still feels pretty good. But yeah, all this stuff does add up. I guess we'll stick it completely together.
Just throw that shit in there. I would just leave it in the bag.
Bag weighs something.
Bag weighs less than those.
Probably not. Bags are heavy. But it weighs something is the tape I use to tape that cam peel in there. About what the glue weighs.
It's a pretty nice Nobler. If you're going to get an accurate measurement of the weight, you need all the parts.
I'm getting there, you old sourpuss. Put all these wires in.
You believe we've been on for an hour already?
Really?
My, how time flies. And that stupid thing has ate up some of the battery already. I brought more batteries today.
The elevator's got 4.
You need 10.
How come I'm missing a big hinge? Oh no. I don't like that. I don't think I got any more. That's going to be a real pisser. I should have 3 big ones.
You got 4 over there. What?
I need, there's 3 in each one of these flaps.
Right, but why are they big? Are your flaps 3/8?
Well, yeah, they're thicker than.
I thought the elevators.
Small ones are for the elevators, I think.
Well,
And those are too big.
Yeah. You need 6 of the 3/8 and 4 of the, you got them, 4.5 inches. You got all the hinges there.
Oh, I got an extra one then.
You don't have to put it all together. You just have to weigh all the parts with it.
Well, I just want to look at it together. If I'm gonna dink around with it, might as well dink around with it. Not that one. It's a problem. I painted all these. I put clear on all these.
What do you do that for?
Start the sealing process of the wood. Feels like
Yep, 70 ounces. Actually, it does feel pretty good. But you got 2 ounces elevators and stuff there. We got any chatters? Nope. Make sure you like, subscribe, share. If you want to throw a super chat our way, we appreciate that. It's a little $sign at the bottom. Couple tokens in the kitty always helps. I noticed on that EAA podcast, they were talking about the 51% rule. Well, we more than cover the 51% rule.
Well, the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but they're trying to get it to matter.
Well,
it's so
what'll happen
confusing.
is you won't be able to home build. You'll have to buy an ARF, or an ARC, or ARF, or whatever that comes from a factory somewhere that's...
It's so confusing.
It's got all that already pre-made from a factory, because the way they're doing it, you know, a factory has to install this junk, this tracking hardware and all that crap.
I think they ought to just go anything with FPV.
Yeah, anything that flies out of line of sight.
Right, because if you want to know where I'm at, I'm the guy at the end of the 70-foot cables.
And here, let's do this too while we're at it. Let's classify this thing exactly the way it is. There's airplanes, there's helicopters, there's cars, there's drones, or quadcopters, whatever you want to call them things. Let's classify them correctly, not just put everything under one big blanket thing of everything's a drone. Well, I don't consider my airplanes drones. They're not. They're airplanes. You know, drone is drone.
It would be very hard to take one of these airplanes and cause havoc with our airplanes anyway. Control line.
Well, yeah, or free flight, or any of them that... Sort of pain in the butt, 'cause I think I got 2 different wire sizes. Probably gonna have to clean the paint off them control horns.
good enough.
Underneath of it.
Poke a nice hole in it. Say, mister, did you sand that airplane with a rock? You cut the wood with a hammer?
Actually, it was a cheese grater. Got one of them down there at Walmart. And brand new sanding tool. Nice and sharp. Okay.
How much a puppy weigh? Don't forget your half-ounce tip weight.
I gotta get my elevators on it.
You can tell it's pretty nose heavy. That's good. That's a good thing. At least from this point, that'll tell you how much finish you can put on it.
Yeah. Dang stands. Scare me. They scare me.
Are we still coming through? Can you guys still hear us? Please give us a yes or a no. We got 6 watchers. Can you guys hear us okay? Because normally there's some chatting by now in the live chat box. I need a card to put up here. Can you hear us?
Yeah. Give us a little bit of a feedback every whip stitch. Doesn't matter what it is. Hey, mister, where'd you get them hinges?
Yeah.
Some guy I know makes them.
I was thinking about putting the silver turnbuckle landings on the wing and on the fuselage, you know, where they got those wires, the guy wires that go out. I tried cutting them on the plotter, and the size that I wanted to cut wouldn't cut it.
Yeah. That's a problem with some of that stuff. It's so small. You set that over there too. That's a scary little piece there if you're not using it.
You should add your starting half-ounce of tip weight in this in the box and leave it in there.
Yeah, I probably could. I don't know if I even got any cut. Well, I probably got some in here somewhere.
You got a nut, don't you, or a piece of solder, or 4 pennies?
I probably got weight, lead weights. That's where they're at. I don't know.
Ounces.
Come on, that was 70 before. Don't keep
added
going
stuff.
up on me. I've never had a nobler. My last one weighed 40. I wish this one's gonna weigh 40, but I'm thinking it's gonna be 42 anyway.
Yeah, it's lighter than this one. This is 41.
Let's see, I got everything in there but fuel line and
Half ounce of tip weight.
tip weight. There's a piece of fuel line.
Just lay it up there. Yeah, see, this has some girth to it.
Oh yeah, well there's fuel filter goes on that too. Which, I don't think I got any of those in here.
This is where the mystery. Can you guys hear us? Sound is good. Okay, Fred. Thank you. RC Fred. Hope you're learning something today. We ain't doing a whole lot today, but we're trying.
Well, I can't find the fuel filter.
Get the weight on
so
his
that's
80
just
ounce
gonna have
Nobler. Actually feels pretty
to
good.
just, might not end up running a fuel filter on it anyway, but more than likely I will.
I love the smell of this. I mean, can you smell it?
Yeah, it's got a wet dope smell.
Yeah.
I just sprayed that second coat on yesterday. Where's my...
Don't have any tip weight? We could just add it to the total.
Man, just add a half ounce to it. You make me dig for shit. It's probably upstairs in my line box.
It's pretty nose heavy, so you're actually in good shape.
Yeah. If you insist on having a chunk of lead in it, instead of just adding a half an ounce. No, hell, I don't. Hell,
whatever.
hell no, I
Just
don't
add
want
it.
that.
Just weigh it and add it if you can't, if it ain't handy. Let's see how we go here. Oh yeah, it's gonna take more than a half ounce.
I gotta see how big that weight box is.
2 of them little squares will be fine. No, the little square.
That's not a half ounce.
Okay, how much are the 2 little squares? That's 8/10. Almost a half ounce. 3 of those. Yeah.
You're gonna take 3/4 of an ounce no matter what.
Well,
I figure it'll take 3/4 of an ounce.
let's see.
Let's see what these weigh.
That's too much.
How many you got? 3?
2. Oh yeah, 3. Yeah, 2 would probably do it.
Here, try those. Got rounded off corners. Always takes more than what you think it does. Too much tip weight starting out isn't a bad thing.
That's funny right there.
You're supposed to counteract the weight of your flying lines too, not
Yeah.
just the lines in the airplane.
Come on. That's 6/10. Whatever you want. That's how much you want to put in.
6/10. What's this? What's all four of these weigh?
9/10.
Okay. That's
Is that
fine.
what you want to put on there?
That's fine.
Okay.
I can take it out. That might not be enough even at that.
Well, you're not flying on 18,000 wires.
Well, I know that, but well, that's true.
Okay, weigh it up. 75 ounces. Okay. £2.79. 40 ounces.
Is it? What's the grams of it?
1131.
$39.92.
40 ounces.
40 ounces.
It don't leave no room.
Don't leave any room. Well, I am gonna sand it again.
Yeah, but you ain't gonna sand 5 ounces off.
That's right. Well, that's the problem. Can't get good wood.
So that's 40 ounces. And you got at least 5 more coats of paint to go on it. 45 ounces.
40, yeah, 44.
5.
Maybe.
Yeah, you better stop painting like where I'm at. Let's get a weight on your scale on mine. Let's see how much them ink lines added.
Well, I can see. I can take Bob Gieske out of there.
Yeah. Always.
Of course,
learning,
those
you
are the
guys.
heavy wheels. They're probably losing an ounce on the wheels.
You ain't gonna lose an ounce. You lose half ounce maybe. $5 from RC Fred. It looks like. Yep. Thank you, Fred. Cup of coffee. Always learning from you guys. It's freezing cold up here in Connecticut, so I can't spray any dope here. Do you spray indoors? No, we spray in the freezing cold
In the garage.
in the garage. And the snow's on the ground right now. It's 18 degrees, and we'll be spraying dope here in a second.
Probably about 50 degrees in the garage. Right now's the best time. I mean, you'll probably have the lowest humidity that you've got right now when it's freezing cold and the snow on the ground.
1172. 1172. Give me a 41 ounces.
$41.36.
Yeah. And I'm a lot closer than you.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's the quality of the wood that you get, because it starts right there. It starts with what kind of wood can you get.
If you build with 8-pound wood, you're going to have a 20-pound airplane.
Yep, there's no way around it.
And then again, if the wood is 3-pound wood, they're so fragile. I don't know how they
So
do
I had
it.
a heck of a time building that thing as it was. That's built out of all 16th inch wood, with the exception of the fuselage. Well, let's see, the fuselage sides are 16th too. All 16th wood.
RC Fred, do you fly control line or do you fly RC only?
Of course, my other Nobler had a Fox 35 in it also, which
Yeah, but
makes
you got
a
the
big
power
difference.
of a Super Tiger 60 in this one.
Yeah.
RC Fred, can you hear me? Do you fly RC or control line as well? Tom Rubin said, "Oh my God, what a heavy turd! Throw it away. I'll be by to pick it up Wednesday."
Yeah. Yeah, I figured that much. What day's your trash man come, right?
Yeah.
Feel for you, but ain't gonna happen. Is what it is.
So
I mean, it's still pretty nice weight, I think.
mine's at 41 now, and if I put 2 more coats of dope on it, it'll be 42, maybe 43 ounces. It all depends. I could stop, just clear it, the ink lines, and stop here and have an airplane that doesn't have that really popping shine, but that ain't me.
You can leave it just like that. Don't rub it out. Don't do anything to it. Take a airbrush and coat the panel lines and be done with it. And they'll rub off by the end of a month. But listen, I don't care. If you put 5 coats of dope on there, you got 5 coats of weight. You're not going to sand or buff any of that off there, because what you sand or buff off, you're going to put right back on and wax. And believe me, wax weighs.
Here, I'm going to go to the bathroom here. You can keep me entertained for a minute, but then we're going to swap. I want to fix Tommy Luker's name on there with the pen. What time is it?
It beats me. 11:30.
We can run it as long as they want to watch it.
So I could put a carbon fiber spinner on there.
You can if it doesn't need the nose weight.
Right. Well, it's nose heavy now as it is. I don't think it's going to be nose heavy or tail heavy.
Yeah, you figure Fox 35 days would have took 2 ounces off of it right off the top.
Oh yeah. Get that ball bearing motor out of there. Heavy case, heavy ball bearings. Fox 35, according to that.
But I think I'd rather have the power than
How much does one of these things weigh?
8 ounces, I think. How much does it weigh? 70 ounces.
Why in the hell did I tighten that down on there?
John, it looks good. Looks beautiful. I'm jealous, says Tom. And RC Fred says, it's 21 degrees here. How cold is too cold? I don't think there is a too cold.
I painted when it was snowing outside, underneath an overhang.
It depends on the humidity. There's low humidity in snow for some reason. See, what makes dope blush is when it has moisture in the air and it's warm enough that it creates a scab over the top of the dope and it traps the moisture inside, and that's why it blushes. So if you're at 21 degrees, of course we have retarder too. That helps. I use 10% retarder when I'm shooting clear in this atmosphere. Take away 8 ounces.
2 ounces, yeah, 2 ounces difference. 6 ounces for a Fox and 8 ounces for this 32.
Yeah, so there you go. You got 40 ounces if you get 38. A couple coats of dope, be at 40 ounces. I'd be at 39 finished right with a Fox 35. Of course, when the wind comes up, you'd be whipping and chasing.
Yeah, no horsepower. Wonder what this GMS 32 weighs. Probably about the same. That's even heavier yet. That doesn't have a Venturi needle valve in it and is already at 8.2.
Got a brass head on it. What do you expect? Big old
That's
head.
not brass, that's anodized.
Big old head.
Anodized aluminum.
Let's swap circles here. Swap areas so I can put this on its side.
Hold on a second. I gotta wipe my hands off. Just handled them oily motors. Do a little alcohol action there.
I need to bring. I got a couple different microphones. I need to bring a mic over here and permanently mount it up there on the beam, and then just run the wire over.
Yeah.
That way I don't have to monkey with. We just point it down. We don't have to monkey with anything.
Walk around it, yeah.
70 ounces. Oh, the girth.
Still feels pretty nice. Still feels pretty nice. I guess.
Yeah. I guess I'll do the bottom.
I think somebody had an ARF Nobler, they said weighed 40 ounces or 39 ounces or something like that. I've never seen one weigh that, but I guess it's possible if you manage to get a good one.
Where's my pen?
Right here.
Okay. As stated, I don't recommend doing this, and I might screw this up myself. What happened was I sanded this decal before it had enough clear on it, and it kind of took off half of his name. And the reason I have his name on it is he's the guy who hand carved this pilot. I'm not going to take credit for something he did. Well, all I got to do is the bottom of the E and I'll be done. R went good.
Nice steady hand. It's so small that you'd have to put a magnifying glass on to see how bad a mistake you made on it.
Yeah.
Unless you really go ape. See how it goes in there. Just put it up. Let's go with the die, wherever it's at.
If you're wondering what I just did, I'll see if I can get the I have a few ringmasters, but my favorite is a Brodak Bislav. I get too dizzy with the ringmasters. I started control line when I was a very young boy and switched to mostly RC, but have recently got interested in control line again. I have a few of my old... Uh-oh, shoot. Fred, I'm sorry I deleted that message by accident. This phone is so hard to operate. Fred, can you still hear us? I can't type. Okay. I'm sorry I deleted that last message. I tried to read it and hit the button instead. So if you want to type that again, that'd be fine. Anyway, I'll show you what I did freehand. On my, underneath my pilot, it says Tommy Looper. So the E and the R were gone, so I put them back with a pen. Man, I hate this phone. It's so hard to use for streaming.
I thought you had a laptop.
I do, but then I got to drag all that crap over here, and it's just difficult.
There's that little booger. That one of them little teeny wheel collar Allen wrenches I've been looking for, and it was hiding on this piece of paper. In fact, there are two of them.
Right where you left it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now I want to put a couple lines on the, well, yeah. I guess I can do the fuselage first. I want to go around this fuselage. You know what? No, I don't. That, it would be a disaster. Hand me that, my foam pad there, John. I'll finish out this, it's back there.
Oh, you're...
Yeah, I'm gonna set this on there and we'll finish it out so we can get the clear going on it before lunch. I want to finish out the panel line.
Are you done inking?
No, I'm still inking right now. You want to hold that wing so it don't flip off there?
Just a sec.
Please.
Throw this shit in this bag.
I guess I can do this. Where's that? There it is. Ah. Yep. Dink. This is on the soak span, so could very well dink. Hold down on that. I can't use that template. It won't conform.
Too sharp of an angle.
Yeah, so I got to do it freehand. Okay, let it up a little bit. Come on. Close enough.
They definitely don't like to draw that way.
No, it's close enough. Put your hand on it. Right there. Close enough. We're not building a watch. So let's see here. Oh, I used that. Where's that square? Let me have that. Remember I said about an inch. Doesn't have to be perfect. Perfect is better than not, but This little wart on the side of this rudder, it didn't turn out bad at all, really.
Yeah. What did we cut these props down to?
11 and
11
8.
and an eighth.
Yeah.
It's the same as this 3-blade.
It's the same?
Yeah, this is cut to about 11 and an eighth.
Now, I don't know whether these props are going to work. You know, that's what I used on my sorcerer, but the sorcerer was lighter,
What's Jerry got on his?
11.5. I noticed he was selling that Continental, and it has an unobtainium prop on it, 11.6 EW. But he needed it. I got 2 more of those left.
You know, in the past, I never had a lot of luck with the extra wide props, the
I
EW props. I don't know, they wouldn't let the motors come up in the power range that,
Needed a more powerful motor.
well, when you're dealing with stock motors, you know, and long before I even knew about any rework being done to them or anything like that.
You know, them guys back in the 60s, they really did a disservice to guys by not, you know, the airplanes weren't the same and the motors weren't the same. Yeah, I was using the VF40.
Yeah, right. Well, even the kit manufacturers messed with you, you know, because they rather than doing the exact airplane, they scaled it however they could fit in a box, half of them. And you know, you had a 3-inch different wingspan, completely made different airfoils. Pretty unreal. There was one I think it was a Nobler maybe, that come out there. If you looked at the plans, if you built it at the plans, the stab and elevator had a flat bottom airfoil. Only had a radius on the top. If you looked at the plans, I don't know if any ever got built like that or not, but it's there. It's on them.
Come here, let me borrow your thumb, go around that side. I don't want to put the tape. Tape is going to run into this ink line and probably lift it off.
Very well could.
Thumb, right there. Do the other side. Probably have to swap sides, so. Yeah, go around that side. Okay. No, let it go. Okay. Nope, let it go. Ah. Okay. It'll be all right. Have to pick that one.
Yeah, listen, anytime you go draw a second line on there, if you think you're going to put one line down, they don't draw all the way, and you come back and go over it, you inevitably will mess the whole doggone line up. You'll be very fortunate if you don't. You'll make it wider.
Hold them from moving. Yep. Oh my God, what a turd.
It's wider. You went over it twice.
Yeah, that's all right. It's on the bottom. It'll be fine.
Tell you, that's the deal. If you double up on one of them, you'll find out real quick.
Put your finger right there. Tink! Oh God! I'm not gonna monkey with any more lines on the fuselage. Just go to
Up
clear.
to you.
But I do see a couple of bogeys.
Break out the Harris putty.
Yeah, I need the scalpel.
Need to throw a couple ounces of that putty in it.
Yeah, get some putty on it. So might as well tape up the wheels.
Yeah. I got to bend my tail wire down on this. It's sitting a little bit too level.
Oh well. Not gonna worry about it. Oh, got this to do over here yet. One last spot. Finish out the aileron and be good to go. So I need this long thing here. Trim tab. I sure hope whoever's judging Classic at the Nats appreciates what I've done. Normally it's me judging that at the Nats.
Yeah. I don't know. Is Jim doing any judging anymore, or is he retired from that?
He's flying. He flies Classic. Yeah, would be very difficult to beat Jim Lynch on appearance points.
Oh, yeah. is phenomenal. Very, very good builder. Kinda sure. Bet I'll never get that out.
It'll be fine. Put a rondelle over it.
Looks like I'm gonna be going with a very, very basic paint job. Typical Gieske Noble paint job. One little stripe on it, and that's it.
You ain't got a whole lot of room.
Man.
That is for sure. Turn it over and do the top.
Pinholes in this damn covering is irritating me to death. Problem with them dang runs or drips or whatever. That will happen to be that came out of the overflow
Uh-huh.
on the cap. Little vent hole.
At least you did my drip on the bottom.
Yeah, mine had to be right front and center top.
No, it could have been on the outboard side. That's where it should have been.
Yeah.
One thing about building these airplanes, if something's going to happen, hi Holly, if something's going to happen,
It happens on the top.
it happens on the outboard top where everybody's looking right at it, the very focal point, or on the nose, or
Yeah. And so I shot this whole airplane. And the last wing panel was this one right here. And I already had all the flaps and elevators, everything else painted, and I had to go fill the cup up. And I filled the cup up, had brand new full cup of paint. Started going like that. All of a sudden, I saw it come out of the top, that little vent hole in the top of the paint cup. And I saw it come out and go just like that, and watched it hit. And I'm going, oh no, man.
change your batteries out in that thing.
Okay.
It's letting me know that you're dry.
Let me pull this thing out of my.
You don't have to take it off. Just
I don't know what you gotta do.
unbelievable how quick this thing eats them.
If you guys think I got a lot of paint on this, you can see through this paint.
They can't hear you. Come on. What is going on here? There we go. We had a little technical issue. Had to change John's batteries out in the it looks like the transmitter's about halfway. So, say something, John.
Yeah, it's
Too late. Just, go ahead, say something. Yep, it's working. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is flip it over and finish this wingtip, then we're done on that, and then I'm going to tape up the wheels and get ready for clear. Take the motor out and get the
I hope that doesn't show up in there.
Of course it will.
Yeah, it will. I know it will. I got a couple in the flaps too where I'm gonna have this is just my blocker coat. I'm gonna have to figure out my paint job and only paint where I got paint at. You can still see the wood grain through this. I mean, there's no paint on it per se, paint.
Okay, we're all inked up. That's all it's going
I'd
to
like
get.
to know what Gieski's nobblers weighed.
Well, I have the elevator from his World's airplane, and if that's any indication, it was 70 ounces.
Was it?
3-ounce elevator stabilizer.
Well, that's normally a 60 size plane.
Yep. And he had it all built up, but he had a bunch of carbon fiber and weird stuff in there.
What year was that?
I don't know.
Right before he, well, I can't remember last year he went over there.
Christy sent me that.
I didn't know that they had carbon and stuff back then.
These batteries are hot. That thing's really sucking the juice down. What do you think? A couple of round holes here on top?
Well, I say they had inspection plates on them, I'm sure, you know, at various points.
Right here. Ink it up.
It's normally where you'd want to inspect a spar or a interior pivot of some type or pulley or.
It ain't gonna be in any of these because these were stick-on radiator.
Right.
It won't be here. I guess I could use these round things for the.
Ink doesn't weigh nothing.
Huh?
You can put as much of that ink on there you want. It don't weigh anything.
Yeah, I know. Well, it weighs something, but you'd have to use a lot of it.
Well, that's the problem. You know, we talk about this all the time. This weight management. You know, and you put this stuff together and it weighs different than what the individual parts do, sitting out on the weight up that way. But you know, you think about weight, and then you say, well, I'm gonna put these little gauges in there. They only weigh a gram or half of a gram. Well, mark a half a gram down because you got enough little half a grams here and there and wherever, and they equal grams and ounces and pounds, and it just keeps. You can't sort of emphasize weight management enough. A lot of guys are happy. Just there was a post on, I can't remember. It might have been on Facebook or something about what's all this stuff about weight. You know, I never ever worried about weight on my airplanes. I just built the kit and went out and flew it. And whatever it weighed, it weighed.
Yeah.
If it didn't fly good, I put a bigger engine on it. Well, if that's all you've ever done, you never really flown a really good airplane. You know, or your standards are are just a sport flyer, or a couple weekends out of the year, run out and throw one up in the air. You really don't care too much, just as long as you're going around in circles a few times. But if you get into wanting to do any kind of maneuvers and you actually fly a light plane, you'll understand, I suppose. You could take an old plane and say it's already a porker and go and bolt a pound of wood to it or pound of lead to it somewhere and go out and fly it. And then take that pound off of it and fly it again. And you'll see.
Just like Ted saying that he took and added 6 ounces to his Tucker Special. You won't see me adding 6 ounces to this.
No. I mean, there's a point, and I know we talked about this before. It used to be like 10 ounces a square foot. Wing loading is what, 8 to 10 or something like that, and that was pretty hard to achieve even back in the olden days. I've been doing this stuff for 50 years. You think back 30 or 40 years, you're gonna know.
You got a tack rag, right?
I don't use tack rags.
Yeah, well, I think I'm gonna need it.
I got a dust-free cloth. They're supposed to be dust-free. Take the air hose and blow it off.
Yeah. These are where the guy wires go, and they should have a matching set up here, but I don't know that I want to do that up there on that. What do you
they're
think?
sort of close together. There's that book in there. It's got the drawing of that thing in it. They might give you some ideas. Or it's got the guy's airplane. It's not the exact same airplane, but it's similar.
I think the guy wires go straight.
They're close. I thought they were close together at the fuselage. They came within like an inch of one another. Yeah.
Are they straight?
No. They go in. They're only about an inch apart right here where they connect to the fuselage, and then according to this, it's like not quite to the high point.
He's got them connected to the scoop, it looks like. Yeah,
Well, that's up above. See where they come in here?
that's a different model.
I know, but they probably went about the same thing on the real deal. I mean, the guy did a pretty good job. Look at this. They come up even closer than what he's got them on this one.
You just look at that and know that thing's got to weigh some poundage.
Oh, God, yeah. He got 2 12-cylinder motors in it.
No, I'm talking about the model.
Oh, his model, yeah. That's got about 5 coats of automotive clear on it, looks like.
Except if you look right there, see how it's...
Yeah, it looks like it's chipping or something along that line. He might have weathered it a little bit around here.
But you can tell by all those stacks, it's got to be poundage.
The wood's real thick. You can see in them holes and see the wall thickness of the wood and all these turned landing gear and all that stuff. And he says it doesn't weigh that. He said it was...
Sato 82 motor.
Yeah. 66.6 ounces.
Sato 82 was modified. I think the Sato 82 is about 16 ounces.
I have a hard time believing that airplane weighs that weight with all the guy wires and scale details and scale landing gear, Sato, big Sato motor, flying wires, all the exhaust stacks and all that stuff. It's just, and looks like an automotive clear coat finish on it that's been put on heavy. That's not a light finish job.
He does good work.
I mean, it's pretty, yeah, it is. It's a pretty airplane. Beautiful airplane. But I think it's more like 82 ounces than 66 or whatever it was.
Yeah. This airplane here, still to this day, is the fastest seaplane, 428 miles an hour. This airplane here, he says, did 236 miles an hour.
Yeah, well, which is the later version.
But you know, Tucker, I don't think he just kind of liked the looks of it. He didn't really make this. I made this like a Machi Castoli, you know, because it's what I thought it looked like.
Well, I'll bet you it is what it's patterned after, you know. I mean, a lot of guys, they built their airplanes, you know, back in the day, that was the thing, is to make your airplane look like an airplane. You know, a lot of guys didn't like the futuristic look, and they much preferred a classical, which was in back then was the trophy racers and Thompson trophy racers and that kind of stuff, you know, which, you know, they all had that look to them, or they were like a Reno racer, you know, a Goodyear, or the air races were big back in the day.
Well, guys, I think we're going to end the stream. We'll be back after lunch, after clear, because I can't stream in the garage. You couldn't see anything anyway, fog was clear out there. But when we come back, this should have 2 or 3 coats of dope on it, clear. And that'll be it. And it'll be 80 ounces.
Yep. 44.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support, RC Fred. We appreciate it. Make sure to like, subscribe, share the video with your friends, and keep building, and we'll see you after lunch.
Thank you much.